Welcome viewers, welcome to ITV Gold Tax Tips. My name is AJ Kumar, I'm an accountant, a CPA. In today's tax tip, we'll talk about IRS audit red flags. How does IRS determine who to audit? IRS audited less than 1% taxes, actually 0.6% taxes to be exact last year. How do they determine, how do they decide, what are the factors that helps IRS decide and how can you avoid them? Let's dig into it. In this episode, we'll talk about the income level. So higher the income you have, higher the probability you have of being audited. In general, in total, IRS audited less than 1%, actually 0.6% taxes. But if your income is more than $1 million, your audit probability is 4.3%. So higher the income, higher the audit rate. So you need to be more careful when you have higher income to avoid IRS scrutiny. Let's look at the next item, not reporting all income. All the income that you have, the W-2, the 1099 miscellaneous income, the debt write-off, the interest income, all those incomes gets reported to IRS by the person who is giving you the income. So your employer is reporting the W-2 directly to the IRS. The bank is reporting the interest income directly to the IRS. So if you miss a particular document, a lot of people miss the 1099 miscellaneous income, and then their tax return does not match with the IRS tax return. The IRS computer system, they already know what income you made. When you submit the tax return, they compare your reported income with the income that was reported to IRS. And that's an easy way IRS can find out that you did not report all your income. And a computer generated notice is sent out to the taxpayer that you forgot to have some income. That's the second type of criteria that the IRS has as who to audit. Let's look at the next one. Rental losses. A lot of people have rental properties, and when you have a W-2 income, you can't spend a lot of time on your rental property, especially if you are not a realtor or especially if you don't have multiple rental properties. There are rules around what's active rental losses, what's passive rental losses. When people claim rental losses as active rental losses and they are not the realtor, that's an easy way for IRS to find out that you cannot be spending more than 750 hours on this rental activity. You only have one apartment collecting rent. How many hours can you spend in collecting monthly rent? So the rental losses are by default passive losses unless you are a realtor, unless you have a lot of properties, unless you are doing it for a living and spending a significant amount of time on your rental properties. Business meals and travel and the expenses, the gray area expenses. So under the TCJA, under the 2007 Act, all these business related expenses have been eliminated. But a lot of times people tend to claim certain meals and entertainment expenses in their business tax return. Meal expenses are only allowed for the client portion. Take an example. If you had a lunch with a client, you are only allowed to deduct 50% of that meal expense, the client portion, not for your own food. You would have eaten anyway. Entertainment expenses are not allowed anymore. So just be careful. Be very, very extra cautious about the meals and entertainment expenses over here. 100% use of the business vehicle. When you have only one car, you have a business, but you cannot be using your car for 100% for the business. On the weekend, you take your family for the outing, you go to park, you go to cinema, you go to theater. So there is a limit. You can claim, oh, I use 50-50. You can say, no, I use 60%, I use 70%. The red flag is when you are claiming 100% use of the business vehicle. It's just not possible. Hobby losses. What is hobby means here? Hobby means when you are engaged in an activity where you don't have the intent to make profit. Not that you have to make profit. The intent has to be there. And how does the IRS determine if you have the intent or not? They look at past history. Have you made income last year? What about the year prior to last year? Have you ever had any income in this business? Are you advertising? If you're not advertising, if it's your side business and you kept showing losses year after year, IRS sees this activity as a hobby and those losses are denied. Hobby losses Hobby income is taxable, but hobby losses are not supposed to be taxable. Home office deduction. How do we know what exactly are you doing in these situation, in COVID-19 situation? A lot of people are working from home. We get a lot of calls. Are the home office expense deductible? For a W-2 job, when you are working for an employer, your home office expenses are not supposed to be deductible. But when you have a small business and you have a small office, you have the right to claim certain expenses. You have to see how much area you are using in your home. Let's say you have an exclusive room, which is 200 square feet. Your whole home is 2000 square feet. Then you have 10% of your home being used exclusively for your office expense. In that case, you have the right to claim certain expenses as home office expense, but home office expenses are not allowed on your W-2 job. Cash intensive business, IRS knows what business collects cash, what business does not collect cash. A lot of IT companies, for example, wouldn't have a lot of cash transaction, but Dunkin' Donuts, Subways, grocery stores, a lot of these businesses are cash intensive business. If you are looking at the bank statement and no cash is being deposited, no cash is being reported in your income, that's a clear red flag. So these are certain criteria. The list is not complete. This list gives you the main ideas at what IRS is looking out, how IRS is determining as who to audit. Please keep an eye, keep safe, keep healthy. Until next time, AJ Kumar, CPA.